grant China permanent normal trade relations to take full advantage of a trade deal signed late last year. But PNTR, as it is now being called, is strongly opposed by organized labor and other critics of China's policies. Teamsters President James Hoffa told a labor rally on Capitol Hill last week that Congress should vote no because of China's bad labor and human rights policies.
If China truly wants to be part of the great world and be a citizen of the world, they must act like a citizen of the world.
It appears that this vote in late May will be very close, with the outcome likely to be decided by a dozen undecided House Democrats who are under heavy pressure from the White House, business groups, and many high-tech companies to vote yes. But they're also under pressure from organized labor and other groups and some constituents to vote no. California Congressman Cal Dooley is one Democrat who plans to vote yes.
You know, this is one of the few trade agreements that we've ever negotiated where the United States gave up nothing. We didn't reduce our tariffs one bit, we didn't increase or reduce our quotas at all, and yet we are getting significant tariff reductions across the board for U.S.-made products going into China.
As anti-China and anti-globalization demonstrators prepare to leave Washington, D.C., undecided House members will be hearing from their constituents back home on whether to vote yes or no on a bill that could determine America's trade policy for a long time to come. Dan Cush, First Business.
In a setback for the Clinton administration, House Democratic leader Dick Gephardt has reportedly decided to vote against that China trade bill. Sources say he'll announce his decision publicly on Wednesday. Still ahead on First Business, we'll hear from the CEO of a multi-million-dollar internet company on how to deal with the frustrations of business travel. This week on CEO Close-Up, we're looking at a company called e-travel.com, a business-to-business concept that allows companies to more readily control business travel costs. John Ackerman is its founder. He started with Swiss Air in Argentina and then worked through America's development of Sabre reservation system. In speaking with First Business anchor Barton Eckert, Ackerman expressed his frustration over making travel plans after he moved to France to work for Digital Equipment.
So I'm sitting at Digital and thinking, this doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm picking up the phone to call a travel agent to plan a trip when I know through my past experience that all the information that I need is readily available. And I have this desktop computer and the networks are there. Why can't I just get the information that I need when I need it and do it myself much more quickly, much more efficiently? I know the routes better than the travel agent. I do them all the time. And that sort of started the thought process. And looked carefully at the technology and said there is an opportunity here to create a business that will save corporations money, deliver better service to the end user traveler, and really improve the entire economics of the distribution channels.
This is at a point in the mid-90s where the business traveler, and even still today, the business traveler is paying the biggest chunk in terms of airfares.
Absolutely. And they've actually subsidized the lower fares for leisure travelers. As a result, the business travel industry were taking a different approach in the use of the commissions. They were being rebated to corporations. So the company would pay a high fare, they would receive back a commission from the travel agency, and many corporations actually looked at their travel departments as profit centers. So they paid up front a higher fee to get the money back through a long chain, everyone taking a little bit of it out along the way. To us, that didn't make sense. And fortunately, I guess for us as well, it didn't make sense to the airlines, the car rental companies, and the hotel chains.
The concept of online e-travel.com caught on so fast that John Ackerman made millions selling his company to Oracle, but remaining as its CEO. More on the right price for any company. How much did he make? We'll learn tomorrow on CEO Close-Up.
Today's CEO Close-Up is brought to you by Off-Road Capital, where everyday millionaires are given access to private company deals.
On the First Business Sports page this morning, the NHL playoffs getting just a bit closer to the Stanley Cup. Here's All News Channel's Kurt Gallup.
The Wings have the Kings on the ropes. Hi, everybody. Experience is winning out for Detroit as they have the LA Kings on the brink of NHL playoff elimination. Scotty Bowman's been through this many times before as his Red Wings chase their third cup in 4 years. Leading 1-0 in the second on the power play, Nicholas Lidstrom tees it up at the blue line, and Thomas Holmstrom tips it past Stefan Fiset. Detroit makes it stand up. 2-1 is the final, and they take a commanding 3-0 lead over the Kings. In Ottawa, Toronto goalie Curtis Joseph has had better nights. Senators back in their series with the Leafs. Ottawa leading 3-2 with just under 6 minutes left in the game. Rob Zaminer with a shot here, and he scores. Now Joseph wants interference in front. Cujo goes nuts. Watch, he slides into the ref. That earns him a misconduct, and the Senators earn a 4-3 victory. They trail the Leafs now 2-1. In hoops, this is it for the Orlando Magic. If they win, they're still alive for the playoffs. Lose to Milwaukee, and the Bucks clinch the final spot in the East. Tie game with under 30 seconds left. The turnover, and the Bucks break out. The big dog finishes. Glenn Robinson puts Milwaukee up by 2. The Magic have their last chance to go for the win. Chucky Atkins with the 3. No, the rebound. That is it. 85-83. Orlando's hopes are dashed. The Bucks are in the playoffs. Here's the Monday slate.
If you've ever tried to get your money into a free public deal, well, then you know how it can feel. Off-Road Capital, equal access for the everyday millionaire. tippers, midnight surfers, best friends, TV experts, handshakers, ex-neighbors, family brokers, online pokers, smart cookies. Ask everyone. Then, before you invest, investigate at Morningstar.com. An oasis of unbiased analysis and expert insight so you can sift through chatter and invest smarter. Morningstar.com, your first, second opinion.
2/3 of your estate gone. Without proper planning, 2/3 of everything you've worked so hard to acquire could go to the government. Call Solomon Smith Barney at 1-800-EARNS-IT, extension 356, and see how a simple will isn't enough. Get your free special report, 10 strategies for preserving your wealth. You'll learn how to shelter up to $1 million by 2006. Why it may pay to retitle your assets. And whether you should own life insurance in your own name. See how to protect the people you care about most. Call 1-800-EARNS-IT, extension 356 for your special report today. See how we earn it. Solomon Smith Barney.
Taking a look now at today's business travel forecast for cities coast to coast. Looking ahead to tomorrow morning, rain along the Oregon coast, extending through Wyoming, South Dakota, and Iowa, stretching through the Great Lakes. Rain in the New England states as well, partly sunny down the rest of the East Coast. Forecast for continued wet weather in the Midwest this week sent grain and soybean prices lower on the Chicago Board of Trade. Wheat for July delivery fell 2 3/4 cents to $2.65 a bushel. May corn dropped 2.5 cents to $2.32 a bushel. July soybeans also down, losing 0.5 cent to $5.44 a bushel. Over on the Chicago Merc, June live cattle and May pork bellies both fell frantically. And in precious metals trading this morning, gold opened lower in Europe at $280.90, 90 cents off the New York close. Silver slipped as well to $5.07 from the New York close of $5.09 an ounce. Small business owners, beware. You could become a victim of website cramming. The Federal Trade Commission has issued a warning to small business owners, saying more and more complaints are being received about unauthorized billing for internet services via phone bills. The FTC says it had received more than 10,000 complaints by March of last year, up from 0 just 2 years earlier. The FTC's advice: read your phone bill carefully and check for unauthorized charges. And for all of us here on the First Business News Team, I'm Trish McShane in Washington. Thanks for joining us.